I'm Erin, and we're going to read A Book of Little Women by Lisa May Alcott, adapted by Monica Killing. Chapter 4 Making Friends with Neighbors. What in the world are you doing, Jo? Asked Meg. It was snowing. Jo was dressed in her boots and coat. She carried a broom in one hand and a shovel in the other. Going out for exercise, said Jo. She had a twinkle in her eye. I should think that the 2 long walks you took this morning would be enough exercise, said Meg. Stay by the fire. It's too cold to go outside. I'm not a cat, said Jo. I don't want to dawdle all day by the fire. I like adventure, and I'm going to find some. The snow was light. Jo quickly swept a path around the garden. The garden lay between the march old brown house and the rotten stone mansion next door. Jo hoped to catch sight of Rory as she swept. She hadn't spoken with him since the party. She had heard that he was sick. There he is, thought Jo. She saw his curly black head in a window. He was leaning on his thin hand, staring into the distance. Jo threw a soft snowball at the window. Rory smiled and opened the window. How are you feeling? Called Jo. Better, thank you, said Rory. I've been stuck inside with a cold all week. What are you doing for fun? Asked Jo. Nothing, said Rory. It's as dead as a graveyard around here. Don't you read? Asked Jo. Grandfather says I'm ruined my eyes if I read when I'm sick, said Rory. My teacher, Mr. Brooke, sometimes reads to me, but I can't ask him all the time. You need cheering up, said Jo. I'll be right back. She dashed home. She was soon back with the pudding Meg had made and 2 of Beth's kittens. The kitten made Rory laugh. Forgive me for being rude, said Rory shyly. I often watch your family in the evenings. Sometimes you forgot to pull the curtains. I see all of you sitting around the table. Your mother is so kind. I haven't got a mother, you know. Why don't you come over whenever you wish? Asked Jo. Grandpa is afraid I might be a bother to strangers, said Rory. We're not strangers, said Jo. We're neighbors. The doctor arrived. Jo went to the library. She walked around the room and stopped in front of the painting. The old man in the painting was Rory's grandfather. Jo had never met Mr. Lawrence. I wouldn't be afraid of him, said Jo, speaking aloud. He's got hind eyes. He's not as handsome as my own grandfather, but I like him. Thank you, madam, said the gruff voice behind her. It was Mr. Lawrence. Jo blushed. Her face turned bit red. He heard every word. So you're not afraid of me, said the old gentleman. Not much, sir, said Jo. And I'm not as handsome as your grandfather. But you like me just the same, said the old gentleman. Yes, I do, sir, said Jo. This answer pleased Mr. Lawrence. He gave a short laugh and shook hands with Jo. He asked her to stay for tea. At tea, Mr. Lawrence saw how well Jo and Rory got along. Their lively chatter brought life to the boy's face. That lad is rolling, thought Mr. Lawrence. It's good for him to have friends his own age. He had liked Jo's grandfather for his brave spirit. They had been friends many years ago. Now he liked Jo for the same reason. At home, Jo told her sister about her visit. Mommy and Rory could come over whenever he wanted. And so the neighbors became friends. The new friendship grew fast, like grass in the spring. Shy Beth was the only one who found it hard to visit. Mr. Lawrence could be loud and gruff. Mr. Lawrence found out that Beth was afraid of him. He also found out that she liked music. She went over to talk to Mrs. March. My grandson doesn't play the piano as much as he used to, said Mr. Lawrence. Do your girls like music? Beth listened quietly. She didn't say a word. How she longed to play the Lawrence grand piano. If one of your girls would like to play my piano, said Mr. Lawrence, all she has to do is come over. She won't have to talk to anyone. She won't even have to see anyone. She can shut the door and play as much as she likes. And she won't disrupt a soil. Mommy smiled. She knew Mr. Lawrence was thinking of Beth. Beth left her corner and came over. Do you like music? Asked Mr. Lawrence. Yes, sir, said Beth. I would love to play your grand piano. From that day on, Beth spent her afternoons playing the Lawrence piano. There was always new sheet music waiting for her. She never knew that Mr. Lawrence often opened his study door to listen to her music. Beth wanted to thank Mr. Lawrence, but how? She carefully swept him a pile of slippers and wrote a short note. Rory slipped the package on the old man's study table. A few days later, Beth came home to a wonderful surprise. A beautiful little upright piano, and a letter to her from Mr. Lawrence. The piano had belonged to Mr. Lawrence's granddaughter. She had died long ago. Mr. Lawrence gave the piano to Beth because she reminded him of his granddaughter. Beth giggled with delight when she played her new piano. "I'll go over right now and thank him," she exclaimed. "That's a surprise," said Meg. "Beth going next door like that." Beth knocked on the study door. Her knees trembled a little. A gruff voice called out, "Come in." Beth entered the door and walked right up to Mr. Lawrence. "I came to thank you, sir, for—" But Beth didn't finish. Mr. Lawrence looked so friendly. Beth forgot what she wanted to say. She just put her arms around Mr. Lawrence's neck and kissed him. If the roof of a house had blown away at the moment, it would not have been as big a surprise. Old Mr. Lawrence had made a friend in Beth, and Beth was never afraid of her neighbor again. Thank you.